This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City. It's Mother's Day, so for all of you out there who are mothers, I'm wishing you a happy Mother's Day. For some of us that don't have our mothers anymore, happy Mother's Day and thanks for the memories. I want to talk about one particular issue in short sales that has been coming up recently, which is, the bank is calling me and sending me information because I'm behind on my payments. Should I declare bankruptcy? And that's a legitimate question. It's also a question really best handled, of course, by an attorney, as long as that attorney understands real estate. So I'm not trying to give you legal advice here because that would be improper. But, as someone that's lived long enough that they've had distressed times, and I've been in business for myself in retail, and I've had a number of creditors call me on a regular basis back in the bad old days of Oklahoma City in the 1980s when the energy bust happened. So I'm used to the pressure, and I remember the pressure of people constantly calling me. Now, it goes without saying that often when people are not making their house payments, and of course that is due to a hardship like job loss or medical problems or a divorce or combinations of those things, that there's probably a pretty good chance that there's some other people that are kind of hounding you just a little bit about your debts. And of course, ultimately, it really depends on the size of your debts. It depends on the amount of people that are calling you. I mean, if there's 20 people who have the right to call you every day, that might be just a little bit too much, and you should consult with an attorney. Now, if the only thing that you have is a problem with your house payment, and if you believe that your situation is temporary. In other words, that it's not a hardcore unemployed problem in your city. And in Oklahoma City, we have incredibly low unemployment, so there's a good chance that you can get a job here if you've lost your job or continue to work after a medical problem. Then you want to be able to catch up with things, do everything that you can to preserve your credit. Now, in the case of a bankruptcy, it's not going to solve your problems with the lender. It's not going to make them just go away. Now, in the time that you are in a bankruptcy, you're under the protection of the court and the control of the court. So they have the right to say what's going on, and everything is pretty much frozen at that moment. Not permanently frozen, but frozen during the time that your bankruptcy is in order. And so nothing can happen in terms of finishing the foreclosure problem, but believe me, it's just a temporary hold problem. They will start up again after you finish, regardless if what you're trying to do is discharge all your debts in a Chapter 7. They still have to go through the foreclosure process, and you still will have a foreclosure. So as a short sale specialist, as someone that does workouts for people, or if it's a temporary problem, trying to help you find some other alternatives like a refinance or a loan modification, like we call it kind of a bridge over troubled water. Those are things that I really want to talk to you about. But the one thing I don't want you to do, number one, is to jump the gun and say, well, I have a problem with my house, so I just need to declare bankruptcy, because there's some real implications to bankruptcy you need to think about, and again, talk to an attorney about. Depends on whether your situation, again, is going to be temporary or long-term. And then, of course, it depends on what you want to do. In other words, a short sale is something that we can do for you, which can get you out of the debt of your home. In other words, where you can go to closing without bringing any money out of pocket. And so we can solve that, hopefully, with a short sale. Now, once you go into the bankruptcy, then we're kind of out of the picture also. Again, we can't do anything while you're in that state, while you're under control of the courts. So my suggestion to you is to think long and hard about this, make a very deliberate decision, consult with your CPA or your accountant, consult with a specialist in bankruptcy so that they know. Understand that they need to coordinate with us. I promise you that a lot of attorneys don't spend any time on real estate. They may tell you, hey, don't worry about it. Once you go through bankruptcy, then you have no problems with the lender. And that is not usually the case. And so in that particular respect, stay in contact with real estate professionals that specialize in this. But If you're just overwhelmed, if there is just too much, if it's a situation where your family is going to be impacted over a long period of time and you cannot make all these people happy or whole in a short period of time or a 5-year period of time, then it's something that you ought to look into. If not, consult with a real estate professional that specializes in short sales and workouts, that has a high success record, a high level of ethics, follows all the disclosures set by the federal government so that you know that you're not being taken for a ride, that someone is there in your best interest, that it doesn't cost you any money whatsoever, and that we are not tied in with the federal government or with your lender. When you get those assurances, then that may be your best option. And I will be happy if you talk to me in the Oklahoma City area to talk to you about the option of bankruptcy and to refer you to a number of attorneys that I think are very, very good at that and can give you the advice that you need. So if you need help with trying to make a decision about a short sale or a refinance because of financial difficulties, please contact us at thevirtualrealestateteam.com or me personally at joe@joepryor.com. That's JOEPRYOR, joe@joepryor.com. Or for some answers about short sales and foreclosure specifically, and for right now, you can go to our short sale and foreclosure site, www.avoidforeclosureoklahoma.com. This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values with the speed of technology.